Hello friends, Rosa here in the Rosa String Works workshop. Got a project here, and I can't say this one's unique because it's the second one I've had in here just this week. This is a J45 Gibson, and so was the other one, by the way. The other one looked older than this one. I think they're roughly the same vintage. This one's, I think, probably late 60s. The other one that I had in the shop last week, or earlier this week really, was probably a very early 60s, maybe a late 50s, so they're really similar. Both of them have some of the same problems. Well, in the customer, both cases, the customer wants to get rid of this crazy bridge. These Gibson bridges, I always say, these adjustable bridges, I wouldn't give you 50 cents for every one of them you could pile in the back of a pickup truck. I don't like them at all. They're just a bad deal. The theory behind them, I guess, is that you can easily adjust your saddle up and down, but they deaden your sound. I think they also weaken the top. You got holes drilled through the top here in 4 places. 2 for the adjustment screws, and then where these pearl dots are, there's actually bolts going through here to bolt it down to the top. They come loose a lot. They break a lot. This one, just like the other one, and I don't know if you'll see this on video, but it's broke across the holes. There's a crack there that you can see across the holes. And the other one was even in worse shape. So what I do is I take the bridge off. They're sometimes not very easy to get off, and this one looks like it's going to be one of the hard ones. The other one wasn't bad at all, but this one looks like it's glued pretty well. I take the bridge off, I find a piece of rosewood, rough piece of rosewood, and I actually carve another matching bridge exactly like this one. I drill the holes in the exact same place as far as the pegs go, but then I set the saddle. I put just a solid bone saddle, or in my case I use deer antler, a solid deer antler saddle in this location where the adjustment is. And I mill a slot down in there, and the saddle is narrower, thinner, and I usually put a little bit longer saddle on it so that it spreads the sound out across the top a little bit better too, which also is a plus. So I'm going to do that to this guitar. I'm also going to do a fret job on the guitar, same as I did on the other one. This one here, there's pretty good grooves in here where the fingers have rubbed. I think at that angle you can see the grooves, pretty deep grooves where the fingernails have cut in there. We're going to take most of that out. We probably won't get every bit of that out. This one also has a few extra issues. It has a crack in the peg head here. Don't know if that's going to show up. I believe it will. There it is. You can see there's a line down through there, and you can move that with your finger, so it does need to be fixed. This one also has crack down the top here, right at the pick guard. Usually that's due to shrinkage right there next to the pick guard. And so we're going to fix that. And this one also, and I think this might show up on video on the sound. If you can hear that extra little clicking sound in there. It's got several loose braces on the back. Plus there's a couple of linear cracks down the back also that I think you can see there, at least one of them. So we've got a number of things to fix on this guitar, and we will be able to fix them all. And I'm also going to put a new end pin in it, and a strap button on the neck too. So that's where we're headed. We'll bring you back when we make some progress. We're going to start by removing the mechanical portions of this bridge. Well, I don't know how that stud got in there that tight or why it got in there that tight, but it would not turn at all, and therefore it broke off. I twisted it off. I put vice grips on it and held it on the inside with the pliers and just started twisting, and it just broke it right off. So that shows you that it wasn't working anyway. So all this mechanical gadgetry stuff is just a pain in the neck when it comes to an acoustic guitar, in my opinion. See, now what we're going to do is we're going to warm up this bridge really hot before we try to remove it. Okay, I've just got a regular iron. I got the top protected with some cardboard, and letting the iron get pretty hot. It's starting to get pretty warm to the touch. Got it on high power. I'm going to set the iron on the bridge so that it's not touching the cardboard. It's resting, I'm balancing it on the bridge. It's just sitting on the bridge. And I'm going to let it heat up quite a bit. I also, just before I use it each time, I slick it up a little bit with some sandpaper to make it really smooth again, because each time you do it, there gets little tiny nicks and glue and things on there from the previous one. Now it's real slick again. That helps. What I'm going to do is I'm going to heat the little scalpel up with the iron also. I'll set it back on here, let the scalpel get pretty hot from the iron. Get that bridge pretty hot. These are not easy to get off. It's one of the hardest things that we do in repair, is removing a bridge. It's pretty hot, so I'm going to see if I can start working under a corner. It's lifting just a little bit. It's going under there just a little. Have to be kind of careful. There's almost no way you can do this without some minor damage. The damage is usually pretty minor, but you will almost always get a little bit. Well, it came off. It didn't come off the best, but there's always some sticking going on. We'll clean this all up and get it real smooth again before we make the new bridge. But you can see it pulled off a little bit of wood there. That's really thin. It looks like a lot of wood, but that's very, very thin. So it's not too bad, all things considered. Now these brass inserts are still in there. So we need to get these brass inserts out somehow if we can. You know, that one's coming right out, so that insert came right out. I'm trying to wiggle it loose so that it'll come out before I get it all the way loose. There it is. Okay, and there's the washer that was in there. There's all the hardware that was on that side. I might just add that while there are 2 or 3 braces loose on the inside of this, the customer has already paid another luthier, I believe at a music store or somewhere, $120 or $30 to fix these problems. And obviously they didn't fix them. I mean, they didn't even really get close. So they spent $120, got nothing for their money. I'm going to be more than that because I'm replacing the bridge and making a new custom bridge and saddle. I'm going to fix these cracks. I'm going to do a fret job. So my total bill is going to be considerably more than $120. But had he paid me the $120 at the beginning, he wouldn't have wasted it. I'll guarantee you that. Because when it leaves my shop, if it's not right, it's 100% guaranteed. In the 30 years I've been doing this, I could probably count on one hand, and being honest, that of the number of instruments that have come back for additional work because it wasn't fixed right the first time, if you will. And often, and even on some of those, I had a few questions about how they treated it, you know. So anyway, when I fix it, it's fixed right and it's 100% guaranteed. So I assured the customer he's not going to be wasting his $120 again this time. Okay, what I'm going to do, the brace is approximately right here on the back. It's on the back of the guitar, not the top. I'm just using this as an example here. So the brace goes through approximately right here. I'm going to go in there with a wet paintbrush. I've got warm water on this brush, and I'm going to paint the joint with warm water where it's loose. And the reason I'm doing that is because water has a capillary action, and it will suck underneath that brace, and it will go underneath there. It will draw itself in to that crack. When you get that damp like that, then you can take glue and put it on that crack, work the brace that's loose up and down, and it will suck, that water will help suck that glue inside that crack. And I put quite a bit in there, more than I need, but I've got to get in there and work it and let it draw itself into the crack. I work it up and down. I work that brace up and down a little bit, and that action pumps that glue inside there. Got a damp cloth. I'm going to go inside there and wipe off the excess glue just so it'll be a nice, neat job. That's another reason I like to do it this way. This will look, once you do this and take time and wipe the glue up, it won't look like it's ever been repaired. Where with the super glue or any other method, you'll leave daubs of glue around and it will look like it's been repaired. Now I'm going to just find a piece of wood that happens to be the right length, and I'm just guessing right now, I have no idea, in there. Actually, that piece wedges in there, and it's really squeezing the glue out. Don't know if you'll be able to see this or not. Down inside there, you can see how there you can. That post is pressing up on the top, pressing down on the brace, and it squeezed all that glue out of the crack. There was no glue there, I promise you. There was no glue there at all after having wiped it up with that damp cloth. That shows me that I got very good glue coverage underneath that brace. So I'm real happy with that. I may even put another wedge or two in there, or another post in there, just to make sure. The second brace that's closer to the sound hole, easier to get to, is the same problem. The brace was loose from the back, but when I put the post in there to squeeze it out, it wasn't squeezing out the glue. And I was surmising that the back was moving away instead of the brace going down to the back. When I pressed it like that, the back was moving away. So what I did was I put a little clamp just to hold light pressure between the top and the back so that they're not moving. And then I forced a wedge. Then I forced the wedge down inside there, and hopefully we can get some light on that where you can see it. And you can see the glue squeeze out now. So that post that's in there on this brace is also squeezing out the glue now too. So that should take care of our problems with the two inside braces. Again, the advantages of using regular wood glue inside of a thing like this, I mean, there's a disadvantage. The super glue will be instant. I mean, it will be done. You're done. But you'll spill glue everywhere. You can't clean it up inside there. You have the potential glue in your hand inside. It's not nearly as neat a job. The advantages of the regular glue are that you can do a much neater job. You're not going to glue your hand inside there. And you can take more time. It's not instant. You can plan what you're doing, and you can, you know, if one thing's not working, you can try something else. Where when you put the super glue in there, you're pretty much done, just almost instantly. So in my opinion, that's a pro tip.